It is a place where égalité, fraternité, and liberté only applies to those guys. And whether you are a worker coming from another country, or a skilled academic doctor, or an even superstar who made it through sports, they will find a way to remind you that you do not belong. All right, let's do this. Oh, goodness. All right, you must be wondering why I'm doing this. Is that the pet? It is. You must be wondering why I'm doing this. I know you're not. It's a rhetorical question, and that's how I pitch the whole thing to you. So please bear with me. Please just don't be like that from the start. All right, apparently you've all heard about the submersible, right? The one that was diving down to explore the Titanic, and then you've heard what happened. Not only that, you know the name of those who were in it, you know their stories, their family stories, and then fleets from Canada and the United States all went sweeping the Northern Atlantic to find it, and the whole world had to stop for that story.
To the Titan submersible.
Titan sub.
I am not saying it shouldn't. I am saying that on that very same year, probably none of you know how many people died trying to cross the Mediterranean. Do you have the number? A little over 3,000 accounted for, an all-time record. But those are the people with the name tags, the people that we know about. Many more died without any record. No one searched for these people, no one looked for these people, and they weren't deemed worthy of making it to the news. And if they were, they wouldn't make it as a humanized stories. Nobody would tell you where they come from or what happened for them to be forced to make this death trip. If they're lucky enough, they'll make it in the news, but simply as a number. But also, do you know how many people died since the conflict started in Yemen? 370,000. Do you know how many people died since the conflict started in Syria? 500,000. Do you know how many people died since the conflict started in Ethiopia? 670,000. Do you even know that there's a conflict in Ethiopia? I think this year, with the genocide unfolding video per video to all of us and watching the media pretending it's not happening, we all came to this realization that we live in a world where apparently our stories are not worthy of being told. And that's why I'm gonna make everything in my power to tell every story. Or at least I'm gonna try. And you may think that this is a show where I'm just gonna be ranting about Western nations and bullying this nation and then bullying that nation. And you might think that this is all about venting and that's it. There's nothing more to it. And you might be right. But just to show you how objective and impartial I am, just like any other Western media, I'm just gonna let AI take care of this. So I have a very objective AI system here where I'm just gonna press a button and it's just gonna choose a country that we're gonna be picking on. Let's just do that. Wait, what? No. That's my favorite vacation destination. They're nice people, and I mean, yeah, there's that, but it's for another episode. It's for another episode. Let's give it another chance. Italy? No. This is they have the best food in the world, man. We can't pick on Italy. You know, it's not only that it's just the country of great food. It's also I don't want to die. Well, look, it seems like this is one of those places where AI is not yet ready to replace humans, so I'm just going to do it manually, but objectively. It's going to be so random, but maybe look away a little. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, France. Oh my God, France. Whoa. It's not like, I'm not ready for that. I didn't expect that. I didn't prepare for that. France, the country of human rights, the cradle of human rights, freedom. This is the country where all the universal rights were born. And France is so good at human rights and so good at equality. It's actually their slogan, right? It's the Republic's slogan, égalité, fraternité, liberté. They're so good at that they have mastered it in their own country, and now they went out of their way to lecture the rest of us.
Amnesty International dénonce le traitement réservé à des centaines de milliers de travailleurs venus d'Asie sur les grands chantiers de la Coupe du Monde.
Yes, they had worked in some cases under bad conditions.
Personne ne doit aller au Qatar. La ministre des Sports ne doit pas y aller.
Eh bien, donc il faut dire stop.
Oh yeah, Qatar. Qatar shouldn't host the World Cup. Qatar doesn't respect human rights. I mean, the workers and the conditions, of course. And if there's one nation that could actually lecture Qatar and teach it about everything, it's France, right? But what better way to teach people and to give a lesson and morals other than doing it yourself? I mean, a leader or an idol would always pave the way. And France had the perfect chance for that. The Paris 2024 Olympics. And boy, did they respect human rights.
ONU has worked between 8 and 11-hour shift for 80 euros per day. In the morning, when you go onto the door, you will see that all those who come, most of them are immigrants and undocumented workers. All these beautiful stadiums that people see, in reality, what lies behind, these stadiums are built on the backs of poor people, on the backs of people who don't have the power, the means. They discriminated against us, they have exploited us.
You're telling me that France exploited workers? I'm so shocked. I mean, it's not like they have a colonial history where all they did was exploit other humans. But you know, at least 80 euros is a good pay for someone coming from, you know, nations where they're under the poverty line, where it's barely $10 a day. So to get those 80 euros and to be actually paid is not a bad thing.
Workers expressed their frustration that they never received the salary guaranteed on the contract. The amount is usually equal to the minimum wage or just slightly higher. They also said the working schedule of 35 hours a week is rarely respected.
Mino, you're telling me that France exploited workers and didn't pay them in the Olympics after they lectured Qatar about the World Cup and about specifically that? Man. Okay, listen. That might have been a small mistake, and perhaps it's private sector, and perhaps the government tried to monitor all that, but sometimes you can't monitor everything. But you know, in that opening ceremony where diversity was celebrated to a point that we celebrated Martians living among us, I am sure that they also celebrated the diversity and the hard work that African workers brought into putting this Olympic together and building the infrastructure that Paris was so proud of during that event. Are you telling me that you couldn't find African dancers? I mean, you celebrated Martians. You couldn't celebrate Africans? Okay, unfortunately we live in a world where workers are exploited, but in the country of égalité, liberté, fraternité, in a country that has the best healthcare system in the world, I'm sure that when you bring at least those high-skilled Africans, the doctors, the surgeons, those who contribute to making healthcare so cheap and so accessible in France, I am sure you value those people.
Ça fait un peu rire, regarde. En net, on était à 1 359 €. Ils avaient prélevé 447 € pour le loyer. Et du coup, vu que la base elle était à 1 359, il n'y avait même pas d'impôt dessus. Comme ça que tu sais que t'es pauvre en France, c'est quand on prélève pas. Et net à payer par l'hôpital, 865 €. Ça, c'est quand même un choc d'être payé en dessous des 1 000 €.
That's 900 euros in a country where the minimum pay is 1,500. Whoa. I mean, this is a commentary show, but I don't have much to say about that. Let's just cut out the BS and, okay, call France for what it is. It is a country that is racist. It is a country that reminds Africans that they come from former colonies, and that's just how it's gonna be. But when you portray yourself as the country of égalité, liberté, and fraternité, I am kind of sure that there is a medium which you use to propagate that, to do a propaganda game. I mean, take England, for example. It is kind of a racist country, right? But the BBC, the government network, have figured it out to a point where it's almost impossible now for a white English person to work in the network due to the diversity laws. They're making sure that they show you that they are a nation of diversity and a nation that not only celebrates that, but protects it. So I'm sure when it comes to French media, that's where they do it, that's where they nail it, that's where they show you it is a country of égalité and diversité. Please, keep going. Okay, all right. I'm trying to defend you, friends. Here, come here. My friend, I am trying to help you, but you are not helping me. But I got you. There is a place where it actually worked. There's a place where diversity worked out miracles. It was magnificent, it was beautiful, and it brought home 2 World Cups and a Euro and a Nations League. A place where Zinedine Zidane with his Algerian origins triumphed. A place where Kylian Mbappé, who comes with Algerian and Cameroonian origin, is exploding and is inspiring the entire world. A place where Karim Benzema literally made the impossible possible and brought the Nations League to his country. I am sure such diversity is most celebrated.
Islamiste. Et depuis quelques semaines, je m'intéresse particulièrement, M. Benzema est en lien, on le sait tous, notoire avec les frères musulmans.
Are you telling me that in a season where Karim Benzema was behind a magnificent, almost impossible remontada against Paris Saint-Germain, then an even more impossible, more magnificent remontada against Chelsea, then an even more complicated, more magnificent Mission Impossible with a stunt better than even Tom Cruise, performed by Karim Benzema, where they triumphed over the best team in Europe, Manchester City at the time, and then went all the way to win the Champions League, all thanks to Karim Benzema individual performance. Are you saying that all that was just a facade for who he really was? I mean, what is it with these people? But sadly, that's what France is. It is a place where égalité, fraternité, and liberté only applies to those guys. And whether you are a worker coming from another country, or a skilled academic doctor, or an even superstar who made it through sports, they will find a way to remind you that you do not belong. So when it comes to diversity, égalité, liberté, all those incredible human ideals, you don't just move from killing 1 million Algerian to becoming the cradle of all that within the span of 2 generations. And I have no problem with that. You are a nation that's still developing like the rest of us. You are a nation that's still trying to find its way through the right wing and through all the troubling winds that are hitting your country. What I do have a problem with is you going out of your way to lecture the rest of us. Because when it comes to those human ideals, you are in no position to tell anybody anything. In fact, when it comes to human rights, integration, and respect of other communities living in your country, you, France, are swimming in the S. And by S, I meant the Seine.